Every year in Kashmir, as winter ends and snow starts to disappear, apple trees come back to life with pink and white flowers growing from their buds. In summer, the trees attract bees for pollination with sweet scent of the flowers. Once pollinated, the petals fall away, leaving a swollen ovary that grows into an apple. Then, farmers begin plucking fully grown apples, which are carefully packed into apple boxes, locally known as peti. The petis are then taken to the markets and transported to different parts of the country. Apples are crucial to Kashmir's economy, contributing around 9.5% of the state's GDP. The money generated from apple circulates throughout the state, acting as a support system for the economy. 75% of the apples produced in the country come from Kashmir. This industry directly or indirectly supports half of Kashmir's population. The fruit is well known and popular all over India for its taste and quality. But recently, it has been facing several challenges, from farmers struggling to make profit to declining quality and a lack of buyers. Farmers are unable to recover the amount they invested, and many apples remain in cold storage for over a year, hoping for better returns. Once known for its quality, the apple is now mainly graded as Grade C. Facing tough competition from apples imported from countries like South Africa, Iran and America, the Kashmir apple is now searching for new markets beyond India. The problems don't stop here. So, why is apple slowing down Kashmir's economy? Throughout history, the Kashmir apple was mentioned by many travelers. The Chinese traveler Huan Sing, who visited India between 629 and 645 CE to study Buddhism, mentioned the fruit in his book. Kalhana, a 12th century historian, mentioned the apple in Rajatarangini, the chronicles of Kashmiri and North Indian kings. During his rule, Mughal Emperor Jahangir, Sultan of Kashmir, supported the apple cultivation through funding. Later, the British planted various apple varieties from European Kashmir. This marked the beginning of a new phase in apple cultivation. After independence, Kashmiris, primarily paddy farmers, began shifting to apple cultivation. In the early 80s, small and marginal farmers who received land through Redistribution Act began shifting to apple cultivation for profit. This trend continued in the following decades. Between 2001 and 2021, fruit cultivation grew from 2.21 lakh hectares to 3.33 lakh hectares. This industry began putting money in people's hands in a state where opportunities are limited. Kashmir has perfect conditions for apple cultivation, fertile soil, climate, and age-old wisdom with farmers. Apple cultivation mainly occurs in the northern region, where cooler temperatures provide ideal conditions for growth. Major apple-growing districts include Shopian, Baramulla, Anantnag, Pulwama, and Kupwara. Throughout the region, apple varieties like Red Delicious, Golden Delicious, Maharaji, and American are grown. Every year, 2.6 million metric tons of apples are produced in the state. Apple farming is the largest source of employment, involving 3.5 million farmers or 27% of the region's population. This sector generates 1.4 billion in revenue. At Sapori Fruit Mandi, 300 trucks are loaded with apples daily and sent to markets across India and abroad. But in recent times, multiple challenges have been impacting farmers. Apple's quality has been declining, which directly impacts revenue, while production has fallen. It dropped by 30% last year. Apples are graded into three categories, A, B, and C, based on size, color, and scab infection. Apples in category A are of premium quality with optimal size, bright, uniform color, and no scab infection. These apples are more expensive and are mainly eaten fresh. In category B, apples are slightly irregular in shape, have less color, and show minor scab infection. These apples are used for making juice and are sold at lower prices. In category C, apples are smaller, have uneven color, and are heavily infected with scabs. These apples are used in processing units to make apple sauce or cider, and in some cases they are discarded. In Kashmir, around 40% of apple production was graded as C last year, leading to heavy losses for farmers and a massive waste of apples. This produce is mostly dumped in rivers as there is no infrastructure to sell it to factories. The reasons behind this decline in quality are shaking the entire apple farming industry in the state. There are two main reasons for declining apple quality: climate change and fertilizers. Let's talk about climate change. Apple season starts in March with flowering of apple crops and ends in September or October with fruits. During this period, the valley experiences spring with blooming flowers, summer for pollination, and snowfall that provides essential moisture, improving fruit quality. But in the last decade, extreme weather conditions have become more frequent in the valley. Dry weather with temperature above 12 degrees centigrade has become common in the region, creating conditions for early flowering.
Experts warn that the valley is likely to experience more frequent and extended droughts in the future, with climate change indicators becoming increasingly evident in the region.
Then, a sudden drop in temperature during summer affects the pollination of the flowers. Last year, several areas in Kashmir, including the Afaroth area of Gulmarg, Razdan Top, Zozilla, Sadhan Top, and Shinthan Top, experienced snowfall in June. After June, the region experienced a rainfall deficit. Between June and September, the apple in Shopian district faced an 81% deficit. All these factors impact apple quality. Dry weather reduces the juiciness of apples, and a lack of rainwater leads to reduced color and formation of apple scales. Besides, scab infection is on the rise due to unusual weather patterns. Lower quality means less shelf life of fruits and lower prices. Farmers in such situations are becoming more dependent on fertilizers. In recent years, the use of fertilizers in the valley grew heavily, but untested and unsafe fertilizers are dumped in the state. With corruption and a lack of standard testing protocols from the government, hundreds of companies are selling their products. A video went viral in 2019 showing crushed stones being sold as fertilizer by a private company in South Kashmir. Farmers without proper knowledge use these products and further compromises the quality of fruits. All these factors led to a fall in production of over 30% in the valley, but the valley is adopting new techniques that could make the fight against climate change easier. In 2016, high-density apple farming was introduced by then Chief Minister Mehbooba Mufti. This method became popular in European countries like Italy and Netherlands. The idea is to plant 2000 to 3000 trees in a single hectare, unlike the traditional way of planting 200 to 300 trees. This helps in better use of resources, easy pest management due to small area, and efficiently provide nutrients to plants. This method proved to be profitable and yielded good size and color apples. Mufti government offered a 50% subsidy to farmers to adopt this method. In recent years, high-density farms became a turning point for the apple industry in Kashmir. They are getting double the prices of the traditional Kashmiri apple. At present, only 800 hectares of land in Kashmir is converted into high-density farming. The government is in a plan to expand this to 5,500 hectares. With the Kashmir Valley not seeing other sectors develop, like in different Indian states, agriculture and tourism continues to hold the economy. Protecting these sectors and building new ways to create jobs for locals should be the primary goal of the government.